Yeah, first session.
What comes to mind?
Well, there's lots of bits, it's all the small stuff that you tend to forget. Having said that, I forgot a great big lump of it, but hey, it has been fucking 20 years or something since I've been here. So turn one essentially is at the end of the straight. Now it used to go straight towards the grandstand, and then there was a really fast right and left, and then you carried on down. Then they put in this really twiddly bit for the cars, and they've ruined the end of the straight essentially, because where the corner naturally started, it actually starts a bit and then goes into a hairpin. So essentially you come down now in the middle of the track, and you brake across the end of the blend line and keep going straight, sort of aim really for the end of the grandstand, and that puts you in exactly the right place at the tipping. Now the first corner is a super tight hairpin, but the ground drops away so fast that you don't want to be really close to the apex, because it drops in the space of about 15 foot, it probably drops 2 feet. All that's going to do is unload the front, so I've been tempted to say about 6 to 10 feet away from that, and it actually opens the radius up a little bit, because you come out of that corner and then you desperately try to get back over to the right hand side of the track. The track here is the widest racetrack I think I've ever seen. Makes Silverstone look like Cadwell Park. So the line is really up to you, to be fair. All you've got to do is get round this long looping left-hander, and then you go onto a tiny little straight. So you've just basically got to, as soon as you eyeball the straight, is nail it coming onto the straight. But then you go into an even another super tight left, which is complicated because not only is it tighter than the last one you've gone round, it's a longer radius, and it leads onto a tight right, so you've got to exit the left on the left, which tightens the radius up even more. So it really it's what the French call trompe l'oeil, I think. It tricks the eye. So you've got to go into this corner slower than you imagine, because when you come out of it you want to be left of middle, because that gets you through this sharp right onto the straight, which takes you down back onto the old GP circuit. Run down to, this is the bit I totally forgot. I thought it was a much faster left-right, but the left going in there's like a surface change, and it's really bumpy, unsettles the bike. Short squirt, and then this right, again looking at it you think it's the same as the one you just gone round, but it comes back on itself in a tighter radius, so you tend to, if you're running at the same speed, it's really difficult to make the apex. And then run down the hill, flat stick, you're dropping into like a long loopy hairpin. It's downhill all the way, and it's a sort of vaguely similar in feeling to dropping into Melbourne at Donington. So it's picking a braking point, shout stop you bastard a few times, and get it into the hairpin. You're in at the bottom of the hill now, and you're kind of looking right round the corner, and you're looking for your exit point. As soon as you spot that, start your drive, and now you're climbing uphill. Not too steep to start with, and then you come into a fast left-right chicane. Both radiuses pretty much the same, but what gets you here is the hill. You've got literally almost, as soon as a good squeeze of brakes going in, well before you get to the apex, get back on the gas, because the hill's killing the pace the whole time. Super quick change of direction. As soon as you make the next apex, pin it onto the next straight up to the crest of the hill, highest point of the circuit, and then you're into another quite simple, nicely cambered left-hander, short squirt into another nicely cambered right-hander, and then you start to drop downhill onto what is effectively the back straight. Shifting up, flat stick, you're coming now to a super fast right-hander. I tended to short shift into 5th gear because I'm running road gear and so I'm a bit tall anyway. So short shift into 5th, because as you drop it on its side it just revs its head off. And then you're through the corner, you lose a bit of revs as the bike comes up again, which is great. That gets you into the last chicane. Fast entry, and it's uphill. As soon as you go into the left it's uphill all the way to the last corner. But as you change direction over to the right, the exit right is a bit tight and it punches you out to the curb. So the curb really comes to meet you. And they've made it very car unfriendly, which is definitely bike unfriendly. So it acts like a motocross berm, so it's not really worth or even trying to use. short squirt to the last corner, late apex, wait till you get right the way around to the start of the pit wall before you get over to the right hand side of the track. Hang on to the wall for a bit. As soon as you see the start of the straight, glimmer of the straight, nail it onto the straight, use the width of the track because it's really wide. And it's a bit like coming out onto the start finish straight at Brno. You basically open the throttle a lot earlier than you think, and that punch you onto the straight, and then down you go for another lap. Did he enjoy it? Yo, yes. So that's not a bad lap, that.